What is going on, guys? It's Ronnie Rotor House, your source for GDM car news and car culture. Right now, I'm at a super secret Skyline meet over here at Petrol. It's my friend John's birthday party. Thankfully, he invited me out here. There are some insane cars out here, R34s, R32s, you name it, it's out here. One of the main points is that there's all this big controversy as if the G35 an actual Skyline. So right now, I'm actually asking real Skyline owners, is if the G35 a real Skyline? All right, so right now I'm actually outside Petrol for the homie John's birthday. This is pretty insane because this is Sin City Skyline. Look at this. You got R33s, R34s, all these cars out here. You got the Datsun, you got the Stagia, obviously you got the fam wagon over here, can't go wrong, R32. And then you have my G35. I am so thankful that John invited me to this Skyline meetup because I am seeing some insane cars out here. This is the only red R34 in town out here in Las Vegas. Right now we're actually inside Petrol. This place is pretty cool because it's all motorsport themed, all car themed. Got the homie Token. Hey. I'm right now with Token. Token owns multiple R33s, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Actually, I own multiple Nissans.
All right, there we go. There we go. So Token, I wanted to ask you, what's your take on G35s calling themselves part of the Skyline crew?
If you want to keep it simple terms, if it's not right-hand drive from Japan, it technically can't be a Skyline. Even though the DNA is the same, the orientation of the wheel matters in that way.
My biggest gripe, honestly, is that people with G35s don't treat their car as a Skyline. They want to call themselves the part of the Skyline crew. They tend to have very clapped out cars. My car isn't the best condition, but you know what? I take care of it, you know?
And here's the funny thing about it. In Japan, these kids take their Skyline badges off and put Infiniti badges on.
That's crazy.
So they're having the opposite conversation overseas. Is my car considered Infiniti?
So take it a step further as well. The Q50 is technically a Skyline. Because over here in America, it's called the Q50, but in Japan, it's called the Skyline. It's not even called the Q50. It's called the Nissan Skyline. So
for me, a Skyline, something was built in Japan, right-hand drive, and was sold to that market exclusively. If it's for the U.S. market, even though most Infinitis and Nissan Zs were built in Japan, these cars are technically, they're not Skylines in the U.S. They're Infinitis. Same thing with the 350Z. The 350Z in Japan is the Fairlady Z, but we don't call our cars Fairlady Zs. They're 350s.
To show you this guy how dedicated he is to not only Nissan, but everything, he has a Nismo tattoo. So tell him the story behind that Nismo.
So the Nismo tattoo, this is the 80s Nismo logo. I just got this because most of the cars are like in that era. I have a 350Z, it's an 04. I have a 91 Nissan Pal. I have an Xterra. I have my R33 GTR. So it's like, to me, this was the golden age of Nissan. They were just doing different stuff. They were kind of like what Ford's doing right now with like the GTD and all the different lines of Mustang. Like, it's no different than what Nissan was doing. And hopefully Nissan can get back to doing that.
So Token is actually very involved with Gears and Grinds Vegas. I go there quite frequently, and Tyler does an amazing job over there, and I know you're very heavily involved. And just let me know, like, the story behind Gears and Grinds.
So Gears and Grinds started in 2017 in a parking lot up in the southwest part of Vegas. Pretty much where if you can find IKEA, you can find Gears. It just started with 20 cars showing up the first and third Sunday. Tyler started it up. I came involved about a year later, and it grew a little bit, but during the pandemic, it exploded. Now we average anywhere between 500 to 800 cars a week. We are the biggest cars and coffee in Vegas. We have supported the city, law enforcement, surrounding businesses. We keep a very strict and organized event, family friendly. They do a burnout your band. we just kind of keep it that way, man.
What's your take on that? People that go to the Gears and Grinds and just kind of have their little sideshows.
You know what? It's main character. What do you call it? Main character syndrome?
Yeah.
People just chasing fame for no reason. The invite wants it 15 minutes now. And it makes no logical sense. You enjoy your car, you respect your car, but you want to trash your car. But
takeover culture right now is very present. It's not part of the car scene as like people like us are into the scene. That's not what we do. But unfortunately, it's just a bunch of young kids, and
they don't respect what was built before.
Right? Have you seen it this bad? Like in all years being in the car community?
No, never.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Like we had an incident one time. We had somebody we knew since they grew up as a kid. We had a bike. He did a burnout right there in the driveway in front of another guy's car he just bought.
Yeah.
It took off. And we texted him like, dude, why? And, you know, he said everybody had their phones out, and that's their problem right now. Like, people don't know how to live lives without a phone out.
Face-to-face conversation, face-to-face connections is what will ultimately get you anywhere in life. You can only build so much by yourself. You really need the help of not only your family, but people within your community. And thankfully, Token has really helped me out a lot. He sold me a lot of stuff at Gears and Grinds. We were at one of the Paddock Club events, and he took the time to talk to me. Some guy, you know, and thankfully I build Roto House right now. So I built my website, and he was very helpful, and Tyler and Taylor at Gears and Grinds have been so amazing.
You never know what relations will lead to 10 years from now.
Yeah.
The guy you talk to now could be your boss, or hey, I'm building this business. I want you to be part of it.
100%.
The problem is kids today don't get the bigger concept.
Yeah.
They're chasing the now thing. They want to be the next TJ Hunt or Dustin Williams or Throttle House, or you know, they're just chasing fame for no reason. So.
People don't realize that it takes time. TJ Hunt took over 10 years to build his brand. Even Sun Kang himself, you know, people just, it took a long time. So, you know, doesn't matter, whatever crazy idea you have in your mind, go for it. Bottom line, right?
I tell people, if you're chasing numbers and not passion, you'll never make it.
The Infiniti G35 Skyline issue is such a hot button topic among all JDM fans. But I wanted to talk to somebody who's actually in favor of badging your G35 as a Skyline. So who did I talk to? None other than John himself, who I've actually interviewed on my channel. Link is in the description. John, it's his birthday. Thank you so much for inviting me out here.
Appreciate you guys
so much.
coming.
Sin City Skylines, I say, you know, I don't know what club you guys call it. Is there a club name for you guys?
No, I have a little, you know, Las Vegas Skyline chat group on Instagram, but that's about it.
So with that, you know, my theme today is to ask actual Skyline owners if the G35 is a Skyline. So would you consider that a Skyline or no?
So, as a previous G35 owner, I did own an 03 back in 05, and I owned another one later on, but I did badge mine as a Nissan Skyline because I was relating that car to the actual, you know, the CB35 in Japan, because it is labeled as a Nissan Skyline in Japan. I do think that it's okay to do that, but with the proper build. You know, if you're just going to throw the badge on there and you just call it a Skyline and then kind of like want to hang out with Skylines, you know,
it's not a good look, right?
That's not really a good look because you're not really doing it right. You know, there's a different standard to JDM cars. If you want to do it right, then yes, you're welcome.
Well, last question I want to ask, what have you done to your R32? I know you've done plenty of mods. I see the white body, I see everything.
I mean, I'm kind of going for the whole like OEM plus wide look. You know, I kept the original colors, the KH3 color. Honestly, there's not much to underneath that has been like modified and like performance upgraded. You know, it still has the intakes and exhaust and ECU that I bought it with. You know, I upgraded the suspension when I did do that, the wide body and wheels and everything. But honestly, it was a lot of aesthetics, a lot of reconditioning.
Well, thank you so much, John. Seriously.
Absolutely. Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, my man. Seriously.
Definitely, man.
All right, guys. So that's a wrap to the video. We heard from actual Skyline owners, is if the G35 a real Skyline? Some say yes, some say no. Me, I own G35. I don't think it's part of the Skyline crew, but you know, it's always great to hear people who own these cars to talk about the whole culture itself. So until then, keep it locked in here at Roto House. I post up weekly content on my website, rotohouse.media. You can read everything about JDM car news and car culture. So until then, keep it locked in right here, Roto House, your source for JDM car news and car culture.